you caught some flack this week about about being on the Fuji train, and I gotta say it's unwarranted. I mean, we talked about it last week. That Fuji didn't give up one earned run as of last Thursday, and between then and now, obviously it's been a little bit rough his two outings, but for the whole month of September, he's still doing quite well. I'm not quite sure why people just don't like the guy. I get the inconsistencies are there, and sometimes he just is very streaky. But man, he's still an absolute stud, and he's going to be a difference maker in the playoffs, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, look, everyone. I told people this. Everyone can have their own opinion. Everyone can feel a certain type of way. I'm just not a guy that if they have downs, I'm not jumping ship.
Right.
Right. And I think we understood going into it that Fujinami was trying to get comfortable and building up his confidence, because when he's on, the stuff's there. It's disgusting. It's unhittable to a point. But obviously, after maybe it was celebrating too hard, maybe it was hitting a wall. I don't know. But the last two outings for Fuji hasn't been good, but he had been very, very consistent and solid for his last outings, especially for the month of September. And September 21st, we're talking about two back-to-back outings where it was not ideal for Fuji. And actually, playing with Oakland, he faced the Astros before. There's some familiarity. But I think the point I wanted to talk about too, Brad, isn't it for the whole team? I just don't like where we jump from one thing to the next when things go wrong. This Baltimore Orioles team is still the best in the American League. There's still so many great things. And if Fuji isn't ready to be in the high leverage situations, then Hyde's not going to put him in there. But if he's in that spot, he's fully capable of doing it. And we'll find out. And the playoffs are going to be managed so much differently. But I'm not a guy that's going to jump ship. I haven't jumped ship on one person the entire year, because also if you're rooting for the guys, it's not worth to get caught up. Stay with them. Have the faith. It's going to work out.
I hear you on that, and maybe it's just I don't know how to describe it, but like I would say if I was going to be out on one person, it probably would be Flaherty. I don't know how confident I would feel about Flaherty starting a game right now. If playoffs started tomorrow, I'd feel very nervous about Flaherty starting a game. Let's just call a spade, and maybe it's just like whatever rut he's in right now. I'm not saying that he's a bad pitcher or he deserves to no longer have a job, but I certainly would be nervous starting him in a playoff situation if the playoffs would take place tomorrow.
And again, rightfully so. So for anyone that's saying, and this is what's going to happen in the postseason, you're going to narrow down who's going to be involved in the situations. You're going to, your starting rotation is also going to dwindle. You're going to have guys in different roles, and that's just the way it is. And you're going to see also, if guys get in trouble, even your main guys, your top starters, so to speak, you're going to see the game managed differently, because you're playing game to game essentially in the playoff. So you will do by any means necessary. But just a quick note I wanted to touch on. I made this point or tweet the other day, but Jacob Webb's been sensational for the team since he came over, being claimed from the Angels. But even for him this month, he has a 5.19 ERA, but he's still a guy that you got to trust going out there, and he's shown it. He has the ability to go out there and pitch well. And then Yennier Cano's been unbelievable for the Orioles the entire season. He's had his ups and downs, and not you can look at it and go, well, Ryan, he has a sub-2 ERA. You're right. He's been spectacular, but it doesn't always paint the picture, because of his months of September, he has a 5.68 ERA. So I'm not saying, and again, it's inflated by one outing, just like Fuji's 3-run outing against Houston's inflated. Anything can change in an instant. So I just love where the guys are. I think the bullpen's in a great position, and the Orioles just took 2 out of 3 from the Astros on the road. And now it's realistic, unless the Orioles fall apart and Tampa Bay doesn't lose, the Orioles are in a great position to be the number 1 seed, and everything runs through Baltimore.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's going to come down to the wire, I feel, with that, but it's certainly exciting. You already have a couple of divisions. I think the Twins just are 1 game away from taking the division. So great for those guys, but it's so crazy how tight it is. So I'm super pumped for our division, and just watching it all. It feels like every game right now is a playoff game that the Orioles are in. So I'm just excited about it. I think it's going to be great. And you know, given how things have been, it's just, I don't want to say that fans are ungrateful, but like, it's just like, this is the most exciting year we've had in the last 10. So, you know, I'm really excited for what's to come here in the coming weeks. So I don't know what there is to really complain about. If we don't make the World Series this year, is it really a failure? In my opinion, I don't think it is. I still think it's an exciting season, and there's a lot to look forward to, especially with a lot of young players that we have that aren't going anywhere for years to come at this point.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're in the dance. If you're the number one seed, whatever it's going to be, your goal is to win the World Series. If you don't make it to the World Series or win it, any team would be disappointed. And so I just want to, I just saw a thing about the fact they're playing down to teams at the end of the season kind of scares me. I don't know if they're playing down to teams. The last two teams they just played were the Tampa Bay Rays, the second best team in baseball, and the Houston Astros, the defending champ.
And they walloped the Astros, by the way. Like
they won 2 or 3 versus the Astros. Now I understand the Cardinals, but how about the Atlanta Braves? And we're going to talk about a team, if we're saying you're playing down or playing the theories here, James, is that the Atlanta Braves, the juggernaut of a team, is having their struggles.
Yeah.
They're trying to scratch and claw their way themselves. And I'm not saying, but no one's really talking about it in that way. I think the Orioles now only sit 2 games back of the Braves for the best record in all of baseball. The Braves have won 4 of their last 10.
Yeah.
You know, so, right. But I see what you mean, James. I meant from today moving forward, we'll find out, you know, but I think the part of it is, I think this Orioles team is motivated and committed, and they do have a barrier now. And also Tampa has to play Toronto 6 times. So they really are going to have to take care of Toronto to have a chance to catch the Orioles. And I really do believe this team is on a mission to have everything running through Baltimore. But it's not just the Orioles. It's, whatever team, can you get to the dance? And if you're in the dance in the postseason, all bets are off.
Yeah.
All you can hope for is that your team is in it and you can have a chance to go continue to play for a championship.